Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast, the only podcast for NFL punters. I'm your host, Grant Lee. Third and Long podcast is brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form, and the home of comedy, The Comics Lounge. It gives me great pleasure to welcome into the studio Mr. Nick Tedeschi, or as he's formerly known as Toprope, or as I would like to call him, 4 and effing O. How are you, mate? Big week on the punt.
Yeah, look, it's good to be here. False start last week, but we're away this week. 4-0. We got it thanks to MG coming out of retirement, Tom Brady-esque, to get the job done last week. It's good to be here with you fellas.
No, MG was on fire, and thank you once again for that, MG. Also, let's welcome in live from downtown Miami, Florida, our NFL tipping machine, Jerry Jones. Mate, a solid 2-2 week with your shoebox picks. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I mean, it was glad to have football back. It was a strange week one with some funny bounces going each way, but I guess we'll get into that. 2-2. You know, it is what it is. I would have liked to have been better, but there was a lot of carnage last week with some weird upsets and some weird results.
That's all good, mate. Now, for anyone who didn't get on the packages over the weekend, you must be insane. Head to littlebirdie.live, hit the shop. You can get Top Rope's picks to the house, or you can jump on Jerry Jones at the shoebox. Make sure you do that because I did, and now my kids are eating caviar and lobster. So let's jump straight into it. Jerry, the Dallas Cowboys. Dak's injured. He's out for 4 to 8 weeks. They were the only team in week one that did not score a touchdown. Mate, they are becoming irrelevant.
I mean, I can't believe you started there, you of all people. I'm surprised you didn't shed a tear for that. I mean, to be honest with you, and you're not going to like to hear this, even with Dak, that team looked bad. They looked really bad. They missed Amari Cooper. They missed some offensive line, and Dak wasn't playing well. Let's not call it, let's not just say Dak injuries would kill them. They weren't winning that game with or without Dak. It seems like he avoided huge bad news. Jerry Jones was talking about maybe getting him back in 5 weeks as opposed to 8. But we'll see how that goes. Dallas in a lot of trouble. And like I was telling you guys off camera, I mean, 2-2 week, but I did tout the Giants to win that division, a 4-team division, a plus 10-1. I do like my chances. They beat Tennessee. And Dallas is lost Dak. So, I mean, it's a 3-team race between Washington, Philly, and New York. And if I'm taking 10-1, of course, I'm not the best team, but I like my spot.
I tell you what, Jerry, I cannot cry anymore. The amount of tears that I shed this week. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to a gun. Lamar Jackson turned down $180 million guaranteed. He's betting on himself. So technically, he's the biggest punter out there. Great start. 200 yards passing. What did you think, Top Rope?
Yeah, look, it's hard to measure up how good Lamar is when he's playing a kind of, impotent team like the Jets. But, it was, he did all he had to do, Lamar. And, you've got to respect him backing himself. The quarterback market's obviously, going through the roof at the moment. Well done to him for backing himself. I think Baltimore in a great position to win the division. I think they were one of my better division bets in the preseason, and certainly haven't backed away from after week one after Cincinnati's poor performance. So, look, I think Lamar's in a very good spot to exceed what he was offered.
Yes, at topsport.com.au, they did open up at 33-1 to win the Super Bowl. So I did have a cheeky little couple of units on that. So also, too, guys, for the first time ever in the history, we had a division where a team that did play a division game, all 4 teams did not win. The Texans, the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans. Jerry, is this the worst division in football?
Well, I like how you said that. You said all that did not win because there was a tie in there, right? So it's not like everyone lost, but I don't know. It could be. It should be. The Colts are still the cream of the crop there, but Jacksonville didn't look terrible. They fell apart late. I mean, Houston, they played tough. They should have won that game. I think they were up 20-3 in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I guess for right now, week one, they are the worst division in football. we'll see how that breaks. But for now, they do hold that title.
So the stats have come in from preseason. We basically had 11 quarterbacks that did not take a snap during preseason. So for week 1, they went 3-8. And one of those games, 2 of the quarterbacks that did not play in the preseason played each other. Is it time that the owners and the general managers got their starters to play to play in the preseason top rope?
Yeah, I think it's crazy to expect to go into a season cold, especially, you look at the world stage, you look at the NRL in Australia, you look at the English Premier League, obviously they're different sports, but no season runs as short as the NFL. So every game, that therefore kind of boosts the importance of every single game. And to go in cold and to expect to warm up during the season, I think is absolute madness. Like, yeah, you could lose your start in preseason, absolutely, no doubt about that. You could lose him in week 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. So injuries happen in collision sports like gridiron, like the NRL, like any of these kind of high contact sports. You've got to run that risk because I think you're better off kind of rolling into the season and getting ready to win those early season games than not.
So a little birdie tells me, in a bit of gossip news, getting off the football field, that Tom Brady and Giselle fighting. She was looking forward to finally, after 23 years, spending Christmas and Thanksgiving together. The kids were excited, and poor old Tom was retired for 2 months. It's pretty hard to live with a supermodel. Myself, I have super sperm, Jerry. Mate, true story. My wife was on a netball trip in Cairns. I was in Melbourne and I impregnated her. So the only thing I could think of is super sperm, mate. So what do you think about that, mate? Are we going to see the 2 great people split by the end of the year, or will they make it through?
I mean, I think we need Mark for this segment, don't we? Isn't he the Brady Patriot Buck guy? It's just much to do about nothing. I mean, as much as she may hate it and as much as she wants him home, she'd become the most hated woman in America if she forced him to retire mid-season. So I think he'll get through the season, and I think that'll be it. I think we've heard enough of this story. I think it'll go away. But who knows? I mean, if they get off to, and they did win week 1, but let's say they were 3-5 or something like that, who knows? Maybe he can call it quits. But I think she'll keep her mouth shut for this season at least, and then they'll fight again in the offseason.
Well done, boys. Let's close off segment 1. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with segment 2, To the House. And welcome back. It's time for To the House, brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. So, boys, let's do our bookie wrap for week 1. Basically, the favourites was we got 10 out of 16 for 62%. The covers were 8 out of 16 for 50%. The over totals was 5 out of 16 for 31%. And the home teams was 6 out of 16 for 37%. So, boys, like I said before, week 1, you guys did extremely well. I did have to buy my son some new basketball shoes, so thank you very much. So with your package that you've got there, Top Rope to the House, mate, would you like to take us through how you went?
Yeah, it was a good week. Early season, I like to find an underdog, and I like to find an under, and we went with 3 dogs and an under, and no real sweats in there at all. The Houston plus 7.5, it ended up 20 apiece, but they led 20-3, so that plus looked good. Atlanta plus 5 again. They lost by a point late, but never really in danger as they blew it. They again blew another fourth quarter lead. Pittsburgh plus 6.5. That was sweet once we went to OT. Some sweats there, and then the under 41.5. That line I think dropped dramatically. I'm not sure. Jerry's got the final number there, but I think that fell to kind of 38.5 once the kind of the I guess the volume of the rain was found. They were doing slip and slides at the end of the game. So wild conditions at Soldier Field. So, but yeah, 4-0, we're off to a good start, and it's always nice to play with the house cash.
Boys, amazing job. Now, Jerry, the shoebox, mate, let us know how you went.
Yeah, I mean, it was just choppy. 2-2, a couple of games that could have went the other way. I was very happy with the Giants play. I was happy with the Dolphins play. Carolina, I could have got a push there late. They were leading. They gave up a 58-yard field goal, which doesn't usually happen. Cade York, the rookie out of LSU, drilled one through there, so I could have got a push there. The Saints game was very odd. They played terrible. They jumped out early. The middle quarters, the late first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, they just looked terrible. They put up 200 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. They win the game if they don't cover. So we'll just call it, break even. We'll move on. I think I would play the same plays again if they played the week over again. And I'm just happy with my thought process. The wins and losses will come later.
Guys, amazing job. 6-2. For anyone who didn't get involved in these packages, you must be out of your mind. Head to littlebirdie.live, hit the shop, get the packages, tell your friends. Let's all make some money out of this great game. So, boys, with that said, let's jump into game one. New England at Pittsburgh at beautiful 3 a.m. on ESPN. We have the Pats -2.5, and the total is 40. So the Pats looked terrible against Miami. No one has any idea who is calling the plays, but I have heard a little rumor that Mac Jones has an injury to his back. Where is the play on this one, Jerry?
Okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, but this will be part of the charity hunt here. New England Patriots, this is the play. It's the only way to go. Mac Jones, yeah, a little bit banged up. I'm not too worried about it. They talked about it today. He will play. It did creep up, and then they said he missed practice, and people were worried about if it was COVID. Listen, that Pittsburgh Steeler game, Cincinnati had 5 turnovers, maybe more. Burrow had 5 himself, and it came down to a field goal. Probably should have lost. If you get 5 turnovers in the NFL and you don't win by 30, something's wrong. Steelers, not good. I'm just going to tell you that. They won last week. More power to them. New England looked horrible. Pittsburgh was lucky to get a win. Bounce back for both teams. I like New England big in this spot.
Boys, match 2. Miami at Baltimore, Monday morning, 3 a.m. ESPN. The line, the Ravens are -3.5. The total is 45. Jackson will play out of his mind. This could be a tryout for the Dolphins. Miami is overhyped. They're overconfident. Tua should have been picked off a lot more. And boys, Miami's coming up against a really good defense. Who are we backing in this one, Toprope?
Yeah, don't love this game from a side point of view. Probably lean towards the Ravens. They've covered 9 of 12 against a winning team, but Dolphins are not a horrible spot for them here. They've covered 6 of 8 as a road dog, but bet I really do like in this one. The under 45. We saw the unders do incredibly well in week 1. The under is 8-2 when Miami are off a win, 5-0 when they're on the road. Unders 19-7 when Baltimore allowed less than 15, 6-0 when they're a favourite. So big under spot here for this game. So the under 45 will be my play in this one.
Game 3, boys. Now, I will be up for this one, 3 a.m., Tampa Bay at New Orleans on 7, mate. The line is Bucks -3. The total is 44.5. Boys, I've got a stat for you. The Saints are 4-0 against Tom Brady. The Saints defense has worked him out. Brady left a lot of points on the field last week against the terrible Cowboys, and Michael Thomas was absolutely amazing. Who you got there, Jerry?
The terrible Cowboys, man, that had to hurt you. I don't know who put that in there to torture you.
They've really hurt me.
If you remember last week, Saints were my sleeper to win the Super Bowl at like 30-1. The reason being is they have Brady's number. You pointed out 4-0, but 4-0 in the regular season, the one that mattered, he did beat the Saints in the playoffs. So it's actually 4-1 in the last 5. But yes, 4-0 in the regular season. Their defensive line, they get to Brady. They bother him up the middle. It's something that he has a problem solving. Both teams look like mash units. The injury list is extremely big for both teams. I'm going to go with the home team plus the 3. I'll take my 3 points and look for another Saints win over Tom Brady.
Love it, Jerry. Now, boys, match 4, Arizona at the Las Vegas Raiders. Monday, 6:25 a.m. on 7 Mate. The line is -6. The total is 51.5 points. Boys, Arizona was terrible last week. Raiders fans show up and they're going to make it very loud and very uncomfortable for Mr. Kyler Murray. Where should the punters put their dollars, Top Right?
Yeah, I think this line is a huge overreaction to week 1. I agree that Arizona aren't great this year. I'm not high on the Raiders at all. I thought they played reasonably well against a pretty handy Chargers side, but this is a good spot for the Cardinals. They've covered 20 of 26 as a road underdog under Kingsbury. They've covered 6 of their last 8 as a dog. Good angle here as well. Week 2 underdogs of 6 or fewer off a week 1 loss. They've covered 64 of the last 99 occasions. So a good spot for Arizona. Raiders, fairly unreliable as a favourite, covered just 20 of 66. That goes back a fair way, but haven't covered any of their last 4 as a home favourite either. So I know we've got a new era with McDaniels running the Vegas side, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals. That number here is 2 big.
Now, for everyone that knows me, I will be in the fetal position for this one. This is Game 5, Cincinnati at Dallas, Monday, 6:25 a.m. ESPN. The line is Bengals -7.5. The total is 42. Boys, the Dallas Cowboys did not score a touchdown last week. They were the only team not to. Now they go into week 2, starting with Cooper Rush. No one really knows who he is. I don't even know what number he is. Joe Burrow will bounce back after being embarrassed by the Steelers. Do we have any love for the Cowboys, Jerry?
I guess I must have lost a coin flip before the show started. How'd I get this game? This is the toilet bowl over here, right? Dallas without Dak. 7.5 point dog at home. That doesn't happen that often in this league. And without even talking to Top Rope, I'm sure he's going to agree. There's really no analysis here. I'm taking the touchdown plus at home. Cooper Rush in a similar spot last year. Okay, it was against a worse Vikings team. He came out and beat the Vikings. They were at home. They were a big dog. And, he played pretty well. He's not the answer. Short notice, Cincy not being able to prepare for him. I think he could sneak this one, just keep it close. They're probably going to lose, hopefully by somewhere between 3 and 7. And like I said, not much to say about it other than give me the touchdown plus at home. Home field, it doesn't mean as much as usual, but that Dallas crowd will get behind Cooper, and I think they'll keep it close.
Well, I hope you are right, Jerry. So, match 6, Chicago at Green Bay, Monday, 10:20 a.m. ESPN. The line, Packers at a -10. Total 41. Will Aaron Rodgers bounce back and own the Bears like he has done every year? Or will Justin Fields look amazing like he did in the last quarter and when he did the slide through the water at the end of the game? Where is the love on this one, Top Right?
Yeah, not filled with confidence here, mainly because Rodgers has, just like you mentioned, dominated the Bears. And I kind of go back to last year when Rodgers had a shocker against the Jags in week 1 and then they bounced back and he started his run to MVP. So a little concerned, but I do love divisional underdogs in the first couple of weeks, 60-38 and 1 against the spread. Those getting 3.5 or more, 35 and 23 against the spread. Big number here for the Bears. I'm not full of confidence with the Packers covering is 1 of their last 6 as a favourite. I'm going to go with the Bears +10. Very low confidence though.
Boys, we're nearly there. So the 7th match is Tennessee at Buffalo. Tuesday, 9:15 a.m. on ESPN. The line is Bills -10. The total is 48. Boys, primetime games. The Bills looked absolutely sensational last week against the Super Bowl Rams. I did go back and have a look at the replay a couple of times. I think Josh Allen was lucky on a lot. He had a couple of turnovers, a few overthrows. Which direction are you pointing on this one, Jerry?
All right, so this is one I really like here. Normally, I'd be loving to back the Titans here, Bills looked like world beaters. They beat the Super Bowl champs, and they beat them handily. They looked like they didn't belong in the same field. And the Titans lost to the Giants. So it's a huge bounce back for both teams, especially in week 2. But instead of going, with the dog here, I'm going to go under. There's only one way that Tennessee wins this game, and that's to control the clock, control the ball, keep Josh Allen off the field. Now, it's easy to say that going into a game, but Tennessee has the team that can do that. They have Derrick Henry. They got Tannehill scrambling on third down. They can keep away the ball from Josh Allen, and that's the only way they can win. And they still might not win it, but that's the way they have to play. Under 49 is the way to go on this play. I like it pretty big too.
Amazing, Jerry. Thank you. So, boys, the final game on the Australian program is is one of my favourites for this week, and I hate to say it because I'm a Cowboys fan, but it is game number 8, Minnesota at Philadelphia, Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. ESPN. The line is Eagles -1. The total is 51. History tells us when Kirk Cousins is in prime time, he falls apart, and he is on the road in hostile place in Philadelphia. What do we think about this one, Top Rope?
Yeah, I don't buy into the Philadelphia hype at the moment. I know rap on Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure about Nick Sirianni. They pushed they got pushed by the Lions last week. I thought Minnesota were pretty impressive. I'm just not sure how the Eagles are going to contain Justin Jefferson. I think I'm not Robinson Crusoe here, but he's obviously the best wide receiver in the NFL at the moment. And just a little angle that I'm pretty keen to play here as well. Small home favourites, less than a field goal, non-divisional games, week 1 to 4. Last decade, 15-26 against the spread. So I think Minnesota might be a little bit of value at the small number, just as they were against the Packers in week 1. So playing Minnesota small.
Amazing job there, boys. For all the punters out there, check out littlebirdie.live. Head to the Little Birdie shop. You will find To the House or the Shoebox available for $22 a week. If you're serious about being an NFL punter, get onto these packages, guys, because these two boys are the best in the business. So enjoy your punting, boys, and have a lot of fun. Top Rope, can you please update us what your opinion is on the Super Bowl prices?
Yeah, so Bills have kind of firmed up a bit. They're into to $5.50. The Rams are kind of out the back door a bit at the $16. Baltimore have been a big mover as well, $17. Looking at that front page betting, I think the Chargers currently in action as we record the podcast here. I think at $12 present as a fair bit of value there, and I still like the Ravens at $17.
All right, guys, it's my favourite part of the show. Each week, all 3 panellists get $100 to invest, sponsored by topsport.com.au, and we get to pick the game for our chosen charity. So just to have a recap from week 1, Top Rope for Ronald McDonald House put his $100 on Houston at +7. That's a victory there, Top Rope. Jerry for the Lost Dogs home in North Melbourne put his $100 on the Panthers line at -1.5. That just missed out. And myself, for the Royal Children's Hospital, I put my $100 on the Lions +4.5. And as you can see on the screen, that was a win, guys. So 2 from 3 is not too bad. All right, so boys, let's make some more money for some charities. Top Rope, who have you got this week?
Yeah, I'm riding the Saints this week, so I like the analysis from you guys earlier. So New Orleans on plus for me.
Jerry, mate, where are you putting your money for the Lost Dogs home?
Yeah, if you heard earlier in the show, I did get to break down the Patriots and Steelers game, so all my thoughts are in there. But if you're joining late, Patriots -2. I think they went big here. I think Pittsburgh played, they were given a gimme. You don't get those in the NFL, and the Patriots look terrible against the Dolphins. Patriots -2.
So I am hoping to go 2-0 for the Royal Children's Hospital because I want to be giving out that check on Good Friday. I am putting the Jags at +4. All right, boys, so now it's time for the third and long ankle breakers competition. Basically, this is your chance to win some signed memorabilia. Last week, our previous winner was Chris Gatt at Chris Gatt 7, tipped Tampa Bay by 13 points. The score was 19-3. Thanks for bringing that back up, boys. So Chris will go into the running to win that prize at the end of the year. This week, the competition is for week 2. The match will be Monday at 10:20 a.m. for the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. So once again, guys, how you enter is enter which team wins and by what margin. So for example, week 2, if you chose the Packers by 14 points, on our socials, head to Twitter at littlebirdie.tv or at Third and Long TV. To qualify, each entry must tag one friend. Don't tag one, tag 2, 3. Get everyone in this competition, guys. One entry per person per week. If multiple entries are selected and they're the same, we'll go into a random selecting system, and that's how we'll pick up our winner. So, guys, that's a wrap for the second show of the season. Remember to hit the shop, littlebirdie.tv.live. Subscribe to the tip packages from either Jerry or Toprope. Follow us on YouTube or find us in the Apple Store, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, follow Little Birdie TV on Twitter and Third and Long TV on Twitter and Instagram as well. Remember, all your NFL action can be found on topsport.com.au. So invest wisely, punters. Enjoy week 2 and go the Cowboys.